Hey there. Before we actually get into the video proper, I wanted to post a correction. In the video coming up, you'll notice that I mentioned that I thought for a second that Scout Comics is located in Florida. I don't know where I got that information. I think I got confused about a couple of things. To the best of my knowledge, Scout Comics is actually located in New York City. So, before you see the mistake, I thought I would preemptively post the correction. And welcome once again to the Reading Room,
Yeah.
the companion YouTube show to
The
Comic Shop, which he remembered his shirt.
Yeah.
We're off to a good start, as long as I don't mess up the intro. Today is the 21st of January, 2017. My name is Eric. This is Scott. This is episode 26 of the Reading Room. So we're plugging along quite nicely. acpodcast1 at gmail.com, facebook.com/thecomicshop1, and comicshop1 on Instagram. So there you go.
Yeah. I'll go first.
You go first.
Well, as with the premiere of the show this past week, I picked up the relaunch of Black Lightning. I've got up to 3 issues right now.
And just in case you're interested, check out the episode of the podcast that we're going to record right after this, where we will discuss the premiere of Black Lightning, the TV show.
Absolutely. And everybody's already been pretty much teased with the coming of the new show that this is a character that has been around and just came back around. So, yeah. He's a lot cooler in this book. He really is.
We'll talk about the show on the podcast. We'll talk
It's just
about
because you can't do that
Well,
on
no,
TV.
it's true. It's true.
But that's a really good panel.
Yeah.
And, well, he comes out of retirement because these super high-tech weapons have hit the streets. And people are, like, getting hurt badly.
Mhm.
And he's busting this gang of kids that have these crazy high-tech weapons. And where'd they go? Oh, I think I passed it by. But one of the guns, like, overloads. And, yeah. And the kids, they all blow up.
Nice.
Well, to the police, it seems like he shot his electrical powers.
Oh, okay.
And blew up the gun, killing these 2 or 3 kids. Which, he was already marked as a vigilante on the wanted list before. That didn't help himself any right there. But it's all a ploy of this guy, Tobias Whale.
It was like
He's the big bad.
he's the big bad. He's the big bad in the TV show now. He's historically the big bad.
Yeah. But you get the Tobias Whale here, and his sister shows up looking for her son, who was apparently working for him. Well, come to find out, he killed him for being stupid. And she's like, you can't get away with this. I'm going to go tell somebody. And he impales her with a model ship.
That was an interesting panel, yeah.
Yeah. Like this here. Putting on the suit. There's none of that bulky stuff
Yeah.
that is on the show and all that. I know I'm not gonna keep banging on it. But anyway.
Yeah, the suit was the least of the show.
Oh yeah,
It was the
by far.
least of the show.
By far. So there's these guys, a new group of kids, calling him out, saying, we want you, sent by Tobias Whale. But he set up the guns to show an electrical arc to mimic his powers, and it
Gotcha.
killed somebody. So he's got to run away. So by the end of this very first book, he's being hunted by the cops as a killer, set up by Tobias Whale.
Nice.
Yeah. No, we're not going to do deep dives on all 3 of these books, but picking up where you left off, that's a nice panel right there. So is that.
That's also a nice panel right there.
But yeah. See, these end up being reverse engineered from alien technology that was left by some invasion at some point or another. It's the DC universe. It happens every other week.
It pretty much does. Did they name which specific invasion
They
it could have
haven't
been?
as yet. Maybe they did in the 3rd one, and I just don't recall it.
Okay.
But yeah. See, this is cool. I want to see him try to use this in the show.
Yeah.
He's using electromagnetics
To-
to propel himself.
Basically to fly. Yeah. Okay.
But it's not sustained flight.
Well, yeah, but it's approximation there.
It's like a super jump.
Mm.
It's neat. And this is the guy that had the tailor shop.
Mm-hmm.
This is him in this. He was a superhero for a minute.
Okay.
But he was non-powered. He was just a really good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't last very long.
Because he got decked.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
But yeah, he's tinkering with this stuff. The alien weapons
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So yeah. This is him doing his school stuff. I don't know if he's a principal in this or if he's just a teacher.
Okay.
But obviously in the show.
And the daughters figure into here.
Yes,
Okay.
his daughters are there, but nothing cool has, other than, irregular family interactions. Nothing cool has happened like
Right.
seen somewhere else. Wow.
I know.
Yeah. So at the end of this one, there is a couple of little kids, and they find one of them high-tech guns that their
Mhm.
daddy had.
And they shoot a hole in the side of a
They
building.
blew a hole in their apartment building,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they're on the run.
The kids are on the run.
Well, it picks right up right here.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who owned it. But this is the convoy. This is the new guy.
That's no good.
But this is a convoy transporting the guy who owned the gun, and the kids and the wife are behind. He's being transported, and everything. This guy, the new guy that shows up, shooting like sonic waves.
Mm-hmm.
So all you can hear is your ear ringing and whoom, 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 whoom. So this guy, he's cuffed in the back of the car. He gets out and he's trying to get to his wife and
Yep.
kids to protect them. Well, the rookie cop screaming stop, 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 and he can't hear him.
Yep.
So he guns him down
And his wife.
shoots her inadvertently while he's shooting at him. So these kids see both their parents.
Mm-hmm. Happen to grab the weapon.
Yes, they pick it up right there,
Yep.
and then they take off. And pretty much this whole book there is they're looking for him. Both the police and Black Lightning.
Not a lot of lightning in this book.
Not yet. What do you see here?
What is that?
That is an alien
Oh. Okay.
working
For Tobias Whale.
That is another alien in the white
Oh. Working for Tobias Whale.
suit.
Okay.
Odd stuff.
Let's see.
Yeah,
There it is.
he's experimenting with the suit's new capabilities to hone his powers,
Mhm.
and there's some pretty cool stuff there. Speaking of cool stuff, the suit. I don't get it. It looks the same. This is you need light. You can make it glow. You want to stealth in the zoom, you can turn it black.
That does
That
tip,
looks
that's a
lot.
tip to the
Yeah,
TV
right,
series
definitely.
right there.
And there it is as standard.
Mhm.
So he can do stealth. He can light it up, or it can just be spandex.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They know how to do super suit on the CW. They'll figure it
they
out.
do. See, there he is using his stealth.
Mhm.
And stopping bullets, well, again, power stunting with electromagnetics. Power stunting. That's like from
Power
the role-playing games days way back when.
If you're gonna call it back from there.
Yeah. That's it. And now they got jetpacks.
Mhm.
These guys with the high-tech guns. I'm like I said, I'm not sure. This is a side shot of this guy, a new character sideways.
Mhm.
That was the end of this book. Yeah, that was the end.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's not a bad launch for it.
Somehow I thought I saw those kids again. I guess I didn't. Nope.
Not a bad launch.
No, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Topical too.
just for topical,
Mhm.
just for giggles and grins, Jim, take a look at that. Battlestar Galactica versus Battlestar Galactica.
What is this? Look at this cover.
It's pretty neat.
Have you read this one yet?
I did read that.
Oh, Peter David is writing it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that changes the game. Oh, that changes the game.
It doesn't get too far into...
I've been a Peter David fan for decades.
Yeah, it doesn't get too far into both of them meeting each other yet, but you get the classic Battlestar characters
Yeah.
meeting up with this alien who calls herself a Cylon. She calls herself the last member of the race that made the actual Cylons.
Okay.
So they're changing things a little bit because
Well,
I thought they were made by man.
Why not? Why not? There's your classic. Looks like a classic Viper.
It is.
Yeah. Dynamite book putting this out. I'm going to have to read this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay,
You
cool.
got.
I got Stabbity Bunny. So I know that this is, I've seen a lot of pictures on Collector's Corner, which
Yeah.
we may end up mentioning the corner every week just because
Oh, God.
there's always something relevant that goes on that. So another shout out to the corner if any of you guys and gals are listening.
That's a really big group.
People have been posting pics of their copy of the Scout issue, the Scout launch of Stabbity #1.
I've
And
seen
I,
a dozen different covers.
by the grace of Brother Ed, with kindness, knowing my fascination for indie books, and also trade in kind for helping him with some furniture, he gifted me with a number of books yesterday, and one of which, the standout, was Stabbity #1. So Stabbity Bunny, if you're unfamiliar with Stabbity Bunny,
I'm very unfamiliar.
so Stabbity Bunny they kickstarted the book back in 2015 or 2016.
Really?
Yeah, Richard Rivera, Dwayne Biddix, Lizel Benaventura. Buenaventura is doing. Those are the. There's the writing, the art, and the coloring. They kickstarted it back in I think 2015, maybe. Yeah, I think 2015, and they met their goal, and I guess they started putting out self-published books. But Scout Comics, which is a really small indie house in Florida, I think they're in Florida. They may not be.
Anything that I
No, maybe I don't know where they are. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. And I looked at the website. They got a lot of interesting looking titles, and one of their titles they're adding to their stable is Stabbity Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Easily one of my favorite comic book titles ever.
Stabbity Bunny.
Stabbity Bunny. Okay, always have to talk about stylized art. Not my bag, but if you're telling a good story, I will read page after page after page of a book with stylized art if you're telling me an interesting story. Especially if you do it with not a lot of words like this one does. That's Grace.
Graces.
That's Grace.
Okay.
There was no gentler child than Sweet Grace.
Very wide-eyed. She looks like a gelfling.
Yes. She does kind of look like a Gelfling. It's not a bad pull. So I'm going to do this. So here's the back. Look, I don't know how to talk about it, but that's Stabbity. There was no. Let me do this again.
Wow, there's really though.
There was no gentler child and Sweet Grace. With her field trip, she fell out of pace. By the pandas she tarried, and away she was carried. Just a harriban left in her place, and that's how we're introduced to the world of Grace.
Wait, she gets kidnapped?
Bunny. She gets kidnapped on page 2.
Oh.
And she has Stabbity, and it's this whole thing is just not a lot of words.
No, really.
This is Amanda, her mother, the ransom call. She's chained to the bed. And it goes as you would expect that kind of conversation to go. And then a couple panels later,
Oh my, 80s.
that's Larry.
That
Happens.
is like an 80s.
I was thinking Commando,
Yeah.
the gun room.
No, I'm talking about this
Oh,
panel right here. This
yeah.
guy looks like an 80s cartoon villain.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, 80s cartoon villain, I can get that. Then over here you've got the 80s action movie Gun Room.
That's ours.
That's her mother.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Somebody's ex-special forces.
Somebody's something. I don't know what. Somebody's got M4 grenades. We don't get the background for exactly what's going on there.
Well,
But
you're in issue 1.
a few pages later, the poem continues. Poor Grace couldn't help it, though she tried. She sniffled, she sobbed, and she cried. I feel like I'm reading to my kids'
That's
class.
awesome.
It drove Larry insane. That's Larry, the bad guy.
Yeah.
And to ease his own pain, threw the bunny in bed by her side. Now Stabbity is right there. So now this is the continuing of the conversation. And this is her on the phone with Larry. And they're setting up the exchange, right? Money for the kid. He couldn't afford to serve time. He wouldn't be charged with this crime.
Larry would bury all traces, adding to unsolved cases one small grave he dusted with lime.
Oh.
That's the plan. Take the money, kill the kid, destroy the evidence. And this is all leading up to... No, this is cool. Now, he grabs her out of the back of the van. He drops her on the ground. Stabbity's in the van. Look at that. Look at that tiny little thing. Look at that. Just look at that.
It looks like he's like,
Just
"You
look at
son of
that.
a-"
Just look. Oh, boy. That may be my favorite panel of this whole book. I don't
It's a
know.
little squinty one.
Yes, it is. So she gets a chance to take off and run. She runs. And in the middle of all this, she cries out. He's on top of her. He's about to end this whole thing. She cries out, Stabbity. Pow. Stabbity appears.
What?
Exactly. Stabbity just appears.
I kind of figures he's gonna be alive.
What's that?
I kind of figure he's gonna be
There's
alive.
something going on there. So Larry stabs Stabbity. Now that we know there's something weird going on, we notice there's like
Mystical
runes
knife?
carved in the knife, right? There's something odd going on here. So she takes off running again. There's Stabbity, stuffing all coming out. Here he goes. He's running. Shadow of him up against a wall in the trees, and then there's something coming after him. And we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know. It's some kind of force that's coming after him that grabs the knife and kills him a lot with it.
It looks that way. Yeah.
Kills him a lot with it. Now we keep going into this, and we keep kind of
Like it's pretty cool here because you know what's happening, but
you know
they're not showing.
not showing you exactly what's doing what it is because that shadow obviously is not Stabbity.
No.
It's something. But then you go over to this panel. It says, "Grace, there you are, baby. Mommy can feel you again." You start to get kind of that idea that there is definitely a very, very potent supernatural component to this story, right? So they're reunited. Then this guy shows up. His name is Glyph. I only did this. I did some research on the Stabbity Bunny website for character names. Yes. Now he's got to be. This guy is set up as kind of the mastermind, right? So he said, "Okay, run away. We'll see."
He looks like ancient.
Yes, we'll see you soon, dear. All right. So it's very, very typical melodramatic bad guy looking dude, right? So now, here we go. This is the end of the poem. The details were blessedly blurry, sounds of struggle and plush-pawed fury. Perhaps Larry had fled. Maybe Larry was dead. Either way, Grace wasn't to worry. There's Larry inside the eye of Stabbity. So, I don't know if this is supposed to imply that Stabbity's like a soul taker or something.
It's a funky little book.
What do you think? This is
Funky
something.
little book.
So yeah, I got a huge kick out of this book. This is
You
probably
might have to continue with that.
this is the best small publisher book that I've read since probably Alien Toilet Monsters. I mean, this really I've done a couple between hither and yon, but this book really got
It's
It's
funky.
really cool. It is funky. It's extremely funky. I like this book a lot. I'm going to get added to my pull list.
yeah.
So nicely done, the creators, and nicely done, Scout Comics. There is a backup in the back pages. There's a preview of another Scout title called Shiver Bureau, which is London with kind of a almost like a duochromatic kind of greens and grays style, kind of almost like a steampunk with the blimps, but it's inspectors and shooting cannons at spooks coming from the sky and stuff like that. So it's only 3 or 4 pages. Looks interesting. But yeah, Stabbity won the day for me, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the way that shook out. I was like, yep.
Kind of cool with the way they do the half of wordless panels and then doing that poem.
And the poem in the middle, I wonder if they're going to continue that past the first issue.
It's almost like it's a kid's book.
I really kind of want them to, because it really provides a really cool, interesting like flavor and context to the story you're reading. And like I said, the art is its own breed of art. Not the kind of art I'm usually a fan of, but obviously it didn't matter. The story being but I mean, I'm not a fan of the style, but the art itself, for what it is very good. Is actually, the colors are great, the lines are great.
Turn it back one.
What's that?
Where you're looking up at Larry.
Oh, where are we looking up at Larry? Right there.
You remember that the old animated? There was a Fire and Ice and then a Rock and Roll. Does that look like kind of like that style?
I don't remember what you're talking about, but that doesn't mean I didn't.
Oh, they're animated movies. But yeah, they're back in the day.
That was a lot back in the day. I don't remember.
You should look them up. You can find the whole thing on YouTube.
But anyway, so there you go. Stabbity Bunny, number 1, fresh this month.
Very interesting.
It is really cool.
I'm sorry, I'm sticking with the major houses.
Yeah, it's okay. I know I'd seen a lot of people, like I said, on the corner post
Oh yeah.
Their pictures. They probably were. I was unfamiliar with the title. A lot of those guys in the corner because they're much more hardcore into the books
Oh, man.
than I am. They were probably familiar with the indie release, the previous release, and once they knew that Scott was going to pick it up, they're like, "Let's find it. We got to get number ones." And here's Ed bought 2, gave me 1. Thank you, Ed. All right, so there you go for the reading room for the 21st of January. 2018. I probably said 2017 at the beginning.
That as will happen at the
I
beginning
don't
of the year.
remember. Yeah. Issue or episode 26 rather. So yeah, like I said at the outset, acpodcast.1. It's Gmail. Facebook.com/thecomicsshop1. Always the best place to get a hold of us. Comicshop1 at Instagram.com. You always find links on the Facebook page for both the podcasts and the video channel, the YouTube channel. Please give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. You know how the internet works. It doesn't take very long. If you like the content, let us know. If you don't like the content, let us know.
Yeah.
Anything. Like I said, feedback. Books you want us to cover. Books that you think that we're wrong about. If you hated every last panel of Stabbity Bunny, let us know. Just let us know. Give it.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
More conversation. I mean, more voice to the conversation. As long as you're not a troll about it, is excellent. As always.
That's the key there.
More grist for the mill. Yeah. So yeah, but most importantly, like, subscribe, and share.
Questions, concerns,
comments. If you have other people that you think might be interested in what we're talking about, let them know. Have them take a listen and decide for themselves. So there you go. That's episode 26. We'll get back at you again next week. Be well.